Hello everyone, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay's Shonen Showdown. I'm TheOutbackAl.
I'm Hot for Justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
And I'm NB Jitters.
And we're back here once again. We're now in the quarterfinals. Hang on, gotta adjust my mic. Never get this thing the right way the first time. We're back here in the quarterfinals for the Shonen Showdown. We got the winners of the first round are now going up against each other, but before we do that, make sure to hit subscribe and the bell icon and all that sort of stuff. Hit like, and if you haven't, and if at any point you disagree or agree with us in any way whatsoever with what's going on and what we're talking about, comment down below and tell us what idiots we are. I'm serious, use that wording, because it'll stand out. Anyway, we watched... What did we watch? I forgot what we watched.
One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen.
One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen. Thank you, keeping me honest. So, this is episodes 4 through 6. We're moving on down the line. We're just going to kind of compare a little bit, because we kind of know a little bit about both of these shows already, but we're going to kind of compare a little bit of, like, you know, how'd they do for their next 3 episodes as opposed to their first? How are things progressing? Stuff like that. Let's start with One Piece. So, One Piece... Oh god, what happened? Luffy and Zoro are in a boat and just kind of roaming around, and Luffy tells Zoro how he got his hat, how he knew a guy named Shanks, who was a really cool pirate, but, you know, he let people pick on him, but then it turns out he's actually much tougher than all of them, because Luffy got grabbed by bandits, and then Shanks saves him, but doesn't save him because the bandit takes Luffy, and then Shanks saves him again, but then his arm gets eaten by an eel, but then he stares down that eel and says, fuck off, and the eel fucks off, because he knows what's up. And that's how Luffy got his hat. And then they go to a town with the girl named Nami. We saw her earlier in the series. Now we're actually getting to meet her, and she's robbing people. And she's being chased for robbing people. And she robs specifically a guy named Buggy, a clown pirate, because this is the world that we got ourselves into. And, Luffy tries to eat a bird from the sky, but it tries to eat him. And then he falls to the ground after someone shoots the bird out of the sky, meets Nami, they hang out for a bit, they go meet Buggy. Buggy tries to blow people up. He successfully blows people up. Then he wants to blow Luffy up, but Nami won't do it because she's a good person, I guess. And then Zoro shows up and then blows Buggy up, sort of, not really. And then they run through the town while Zoro is bleeding and Luffy's in a cage. And then they meet a dog, and the dog is protecting a shop. And then they meet a guy on a lion, and the lion destroys the shop. And then they blow up the lion.
Yep.
So that's One Piece.
That is basically
it's
what
basically
happened.
One Piece right now.
Once again, 10 out of 10, a bridge.
10 out of 10 would bang. Yeah, I mean, well, I probably missed some things. Did I miss anything important?
I mean, you got the basic details. There was other, smaller stuff in between, but that's the basic jits.
Okay.
I mean, we mentioned the part where Nami pretended to join up with the pirates, yes?
Yeah, she was playing double agent, but she was really a triple agent, or a non-agent to begin with. I don't think she really is on anyone's side, but...
No, I think she's just kind of partnering up with Luffy and Zoro at this point out of convenience.
Yeah, whatever's convenient, whatever's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's good. Let's talk plot. I talked plot, but let's talk plot. How does this plot compare, let's say, to the first 3 episodes? So we are moving along, singing our song, doing the thing all day, yada yada. I was kind of meh here. I felt like in the first 3, we had like clear goal in mind. Get a crew, get a boat, probably a better boat. I'm assuming. I actually didn't say that, so I can't count that. Get a crew, get to the One Piece, claim the One Piece, get the pirates. I feel like I'm in that scene from like Scarface. First you get the cocaine, then you get the money, then you get the women. Or no, first you get the money, then you have the power, then you get the woman. So first you get the crew, then you get the treasure, then you are king of the pirates. So, and I don't feel like we're it's a little meandering at this point. I actually really did not enjoy that dog episode. I like dogs.
You
Dogs
didn't
are fine.
like Shushu?
Shushu has a great name, but we go from I'm enjoying myself with this whole clown pirate, the insane clown posse on the high seas, basically, is chasing these people. But we're going to take a whole episode just to talk about this dog and how his owner died.
Yep.
And
I
I'm like,
cried.
no. Dude, Futurama did it so much better. Are you kidding?
My whole thing is like, if you're going to introduce a dog character like this, like, please make said dog relevant or have him join the party, because otherwise it makes me mad.
I wanted him to come along.
I'm going to say this. I think this would have been a good episode had it not been in a more important plot arc, I feel like. Like, this feels like a filler episode, but we're right in the middle of fighting the clown pirate. And I'm like...
you're right.
I'm like...
Yeah.
I wanted you to just go fight Buggy again. Or do whatever you have to do to beat
Yeah.
Buggy. Because he's got devil powers and stuff. Or devil fruit powers, not devil powers. That's the next anime. But, actually, that's the anime that we threw out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically.
Regardless, I felt like, to some degree, they still have a direction, but they need a roadmap. And I don't know that they have one. So I'm a
Well,
meh
I looked
here.
ahead,
It
and the
feels like
buggy
it's-
battle goes ahead a couple more episodes.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
it's going somewhere, it's just not getting there in a decent manner. So I'm a meh here. Gav?
I mean, I liked the episodes, like these 3 episodes, more than I liked the first 3 episodes. Like, I was sitting down and I was like, oh, gotta watch One Piece, and I was like, oh, I actually like these episodes of One Piece, okay.
I mean, I think you're right. I think they are better episodes. I just, for the overall plot, I really feel like Shushu brought them down a lot.
It did, because,
in
like,
my opinion.
it was, like, kind of like peppering in, you got, like, your backstory about Shanks and stuff, and, like, why Luffy wants to be a pirate, and I think that's important for, like, you know, establishing, like, more to the plot, like, you know, like, why Luffy wants to be the, you know, pirate king and all that stuff. That's not the right word.
King of the Pirates!
You know, king of the pirates, you know, same thing.
He only says it
I'm
once
thinking-
an episode.
Yeah. But, you know, he wants to be king of the pirates, and it's, like, good for establishing that, and then you kind of get, like, your buggy your buggy episodes where you're getting Nami to, like, join the party, and this is, like, how you're doing it, and that, like, is fine, and then you get the dog episode. And the dog is just like, okay, I liked it, but it didn't really have much to do with Buggy, or how Luffy's gonna be king of the pirates. So yeah, I agree with you, but I think the other 2 episodes were, like, okay, so I'm gonna give it a soft yay.
Alright.
I'm kind of in the same area as you guys. I actually really liked the first 2 episodes. Especially, I liked them more than the first 3 that we watched. But then Shushu kind of threw me, and I wasn't really sure why it was placed there. I thought the episode itself was fine. But especially if the dog is just a one-off thing and he doesn't join the crew or anything like that, I just don't see the point of having the episode there. So it did break up the tension of the actual fight, so I'd probably give it maybe a soft yay, because I did like the first 2 episodes, which kind of overpowers the third one being sort of meh, so I'll give it a soft yay overall.
So for me, I felt episode 4 was okay. We got a little bit of, like, backstory with Luffy, and we get to learn about Shanks, who, as far as I know, at least for this series, is sort of an important character. So that was all sort of good. We kind of get a little bit of Nami, at least during part of this episode, and then we get more of her in episode 5, who Luffy is planning on recruiting as their navigator, which I was just like, yeah, no, this is fine. We get some interesting stuff. We get a new pirate. We get some plot going a little bit more, which I honestly thought that episode was fine. And then Shushu came up, and I'm sorry. Like, the thing is like, I can understand, like, having this sort of episode, like, not in the middle of this sort of plot arc, but I can understand having this episode kind of, like, as sort of, like a teaching kind of episode. It's like it's a teaching sort of, like, episode, like, trying to teach some sort of moral, I guess, like, was sort of a one-off character, but honestly, it's like, don't bring a cute animal into the show unless you are going to make this animal join the party, because otherwise, I'm just gonna be more than a little miffed. But anyway, so I would kind of have to give these episodes a meh, just because of the fact that, like, yeah, these first two, like, sort of, like, get some stuff going, but then Shushu, it's an episode that's kind of shoehorned in there, I think, and it's not really, yeah, shoehorn. It's not really necessary. I honestly feel like, had we not had that episode and we just had, like, an episode with, like, that was solely about fighting the lion tamer clown person thing, I feel like that would have been at least a little bit better. But anyway, again, the plot's a little slow paced as of right now. Feels like we're just kind of chugging along. But yeah, I'm a meh, because I feel like, again, the clip just isn't good for me.
Honestly, I have to agree with Gav on this one. I like him. I wasn't dreading it, but I was like, oh, we're gonna watch more One Piece. But like he said, I really enjoyed these episodes a lot more than the first 3 episodes. I got invested in episode 4 with Luffy's backstory with Shanks. I really enjoyed episode 5 for a number of reasons, but I'll get into that mainly in the characters department. And while I do agree with you guys on the Shushu episode being a little out of place given what just happened at the end of episode 5, dang it, if Shushu and his backstory didn't get me right in the freaking feels, man. I mean, I can't help it, man. As someone who has a dog that's getting up in age, and it's like, oh man, it's getting me right in the freaking feels, man. Especially when they showed that that the owner died, and then he was still guarding the shop, not leaving. It's like, oh, you good boy, you're such a good boy. And yes, I know Futurama was the more famous example.
Shushu
but
is discount Seymour. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Well, technically, this episode came out before Futurama.
That's true.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
It probably did.
This episode, yeah, it came out in '99. Futurama came out in 2003.
Okay.
Shushu was
Did
very
it?
cute and heartwarming. I just
Also-
was
Yeah.
something right there.
Also, the manga came out even before that, so
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
think about that for a second too.
Yeah.
Do you think Shushu was in the manga?
Probably.
This early in the series,
Again.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I understand what you guys are saying. It felt a little weird, but at the same time, maybe I don't know. Part of me is like, yeah, I agree with you guys, and then a part of me is like, dang it, if it didn't make me feel actual, like, genuine emotion. So I'm still a yay with the plot.
Well, seems to be a soft yay overall, though with a couple meh people. Let's move on into characters and see how they have developed since the last 3 episodes. Gav, take us off.
Okay. So this time we actually meet Nami, like, get a proper introduction of her. And at first I was like, oh god, like, I don't really know how I feel about this girl, but then I was, like, understood when she was like, oh, like, someone I know got, like, was it killed by pirates or something?
Something like
Her
that.
family got killed by pirates or something like that, so she kind of hates
Yeah.
pirates. She wants to wipe them all out.
And I was like, okay, I kind of understand where she's coming from now. And I liked the side characters in these episodes. Like, Buggy is very interesting. And not just because he's a clown man, but
Oh, I know how you like that.
he's very interesting, and I think makes for like a good villain character.
I'm sorry, all I can remember is Nut Piece, where he meets Buggy, and he's just like, "That's very interesting. You're very interesting. Consume your own penis, spaceman."
Oh boy.
Clowns are from space. Oh god, he knows.
Yes,
I'm really derailing this. Sorry.
Yep,
but-
you are.
But it was like, the characters are still good. Like, I still feel the same about them as I did before. I still like Luffy, I still like Zoro, and they're still a yay for me. I don't really know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I felt like the characters are still a yay for me as well. I still enjoyed them a lot, and I actually think it was nice to see some of Luffy's backstory, and kind of see what got him to this point. So I like that in his relationship with the mentor figure. So we got a little bit more depth with Luffy. I already liked him before because he was a fun character, but now we got more of his motivation as well, so I thought that was good. It was good to see that so early on. The other guy's still cool. I actually liked Nami quite a bit. I thought she was good. She didn't annoy me or anything. I thought she was a pretty cool character so far. The clown guy I thought was pretty good. He was a fairly good villain, I think. I liked him better than the first villain that we saw, so that's good.
You actually remember him.
I think he was the right amount of, like, cheesy, but also, like, kind of intimidating, so I liked that about him. He was memorable in a lot of ways. And not just because he was basically the Joker, but...
We'll get there.
I'll get there in dubbing, but... yeah, so I'd say I liked everything. I would say the characters were definitely a yay for me.
So... Yeah, again, we got Luffy's backstory, we got some bonding moments with Zoro and Luffy. Nami finally got her introduction, and, I think her character's cool. I like her motivations, mostly just because she hates pirates, and so she steals from pirates, which I was like, oh, okay, so you're not a pirate, which... was something I wasn't expecting, but, alright.
Zoro's not a pirate.
Yeah, it's like he's collecting people who hate pirates to be pirates.
What could be the anti-pirate pirates?
Yeah.
He's like...
Led by the greatest pirate.
He's like, people who hate pirates, all working for King of the Pirates.
Yeah.
Ain't that just great? So, I liked Buggy. He was kind of interesting. Honestly, we got introduced to, a few sort of smaller characters that, the mayor of the town, which I was kind of like, oh, okay. Lion Tamer, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Shoo Shoo.
I forgot to talk about Shoo Shoo.
Technically, Shoo Shoo is a character,
Yes.
and I'm gonna agree with Envy. Yeah, a lot of Shoo Shoo's backstory, got me in the feels, and loyalty and stuff. And not that I didn't. I'm saying I liked Shoo Shoo. I just feel like his plot point was not meant to be in this part of the story. Good puppy. I can't really think of anyone else to talk about. I mean, character interactions were funny with Luffy and Nami, because she was like, "Hey, boss," and he's just like, "What?" And they all just kind of go along with it because they don't know any better, the guys from Buggy's gang. So, and it just kind of led to, a little bit of hilarity here and there. So, I'ma say I'm a soft yay because I don't really hate anyone, but there were a couple characters that were just a little bit one note.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing Luffy's backstory more. I mean, granted, he was a little annoying as a kid, but I think at the end of the episode, he finally started, getting his act together with Shanks, who I actually liked a lot as a background character. I kind of guessed where his story was going to go, but still, it was nice seeing him be kind of like the anti-hero kind of I don't really care about you, but I care about you kind of character. At first I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Nami, but once we learned about her backstory, her actions made sense, and she does, play off Luffy and Buggy and his gang a lot. Well, the whole sequence with the cannon, I thought that was pretty funny. Zoro was cool. We didn't get to see him a lot these 3 episodes, but I still think he was cool. Buggy, I freaking love Buggy, and Yen pretty much hinted at it, but yeah, he's discount Joker. But considering I freaking love the Joker, he's like my favorite comic book villain ever. Anybody who can do a good Joker without being completely obvious. I mean, he was obviously the Joker, but it wasn't like, oh, hey guys, look, it's the Joker. But yeah, I really enjoyed his interactions and I loved his powers. I thought his powers with his gum fruit was really cool, and like I said before, Shushu is the goodest boy. He deserves all the love. So I give the characters a yay.
I'm honestly a yay here too. I know I was kind of ragging on the episodes a little bit in plot, but the characters do work here. You're right, Luffy's backstory, it's good. He's a little bit too screamy. He sounds a little bit like Asta a little bit. But it worked, and it set up Shanks, who I think you're right, he is an important character later, and he's cool. I like him. Zoro didn't have a whole lot of development here, but he's already cool, so, that works. Nami, I like Nami. She's like a thief who thinks on her feet and is just tricking everybody left and right. And like I was thinking to myself when I was watching it, like everyone thinks if you play chaotic neutral, you just be an asshole the whole time. This is how you play chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Like everybody and anybody is like your mark basically, and you're about to turn. You're not just gonna run around and be a dick. You are using everybody against everybody kind of thing. And like. I was I thought that was really well done with her. Buggy, good villain. Want to see more of him. He's fun. He's frightening. He's great. I like that. Shushu was there. It's okay. And the mayor, I don't give a shit about the mayor. The lion tamer, I'm pretty sure we're never going to see them again. I don't really care about a whole lot of the side characters in that. Sure, Shushu's fine. I don't like where his episode is. That's my main problem with the dog. But yeah, other than that, characters are a yay for me. Kind of feels like everyone's basically a yay for characters. Why don't we move along into world building? And Yin, I think you're leading us off on this one.
World building. I don't know if I have much new to say about the world building. I don't feel like I learned anything super different about it, but I could be mistaken. I think we learned a little bit more maybe about the what are they called, the fruit thing powers,
the gum fruit.
Yeah, like we saw somebody else who has
fruit.
that. Yeah. So that was kind of good, but I don't know, overall I'd say the world building is the same to me. I liked it in the first 3 episodes. I feel like I continue to like the world. So I would say I'm still a yay with it. But I'm sure other people have things I'm just forgetting maybe about how world building went. But I would say it's just still a yay.
So I'm gonna say for this that I'm also with Yin, because aside from the devil fruit and the different meeting someone else who can use devil fruits with, like, his chop chop ability for Buggy. I wasn't really getting a whole lot of world building for this. I feel like I'm still in open ocean Wind Waker sort of world, which isn't bad, but again, I'm not really learning anything else about it. And granted, we are in a new town, island thing, but I'm assuming that that's just gonna be a lot of what we're gonna be seeing for a while, considering the fact that we are indeed on an ocean. I'm honestly gonna give this a meh, because I don't really feel like we got a lot of world building built out of these 3 episodes. I could be wrong, and I just, like, wasn't paying that much attention, or I could just completely miss something, or something went over my head, you know. But yeah, I didn't really find anything that I was really all that impressed with.
Yeah, I agree with Chibi. Other than learning backstory and increasing character interactions, seeing another devil fruit. I mean, yeah, we really didn't learn too much about the world. I mean, we know that there's probably dozens, if not hundreds, of pirate gangs out on the sea, and there's different people that are different people in different communities are responding to that differently, but that's pretty much with any pirate story. You have pirates, you have some that are better than others morally, and you have regular people that try to deal with them. But again, that's not something that it's not a new concept. So yeah, like pretty much what Chibi said, it's not much else was, the world building wasn't really the focus of these 3 episodes. I imagine later on, 200 plus episodes more, we get more backstory and more world building, but for these 3, it's kind of a meh.
Yeah, I'm a meh here too. I definitely feel like world building was going to be very important in the first couple episodes because you're introducing a lot of things, and I feel like now they're kind of going into more of like, let's develop our characters more, which is a smart move because that's what's going to invest us into the longer series. That being said, I'm not giving it an A because we did learn some new things. We did learn that the devil fruits are very rare and you have to find them, and apparently there's a market for it, otherwise Shanks he would have eaten it right away. Apparently you can't swim anymore after you eat them, so that's kind of a big deal when you live in a world which I'm assuming is 90 to 95% water.
Yeah.
The new devil fruit power was interesting. I think they are all stupidly named, but Chop Chop, Gum Gum, one of them's probably going to be called Fist Fist. I don't know. But yeah, I think we are learning like a little bit. We learned a little bit about the Grand Line, which they keep like bringing up every now and then. They got to find a map for it and all that sort of stuff. That's so to some degree we are learning more about this world. It's kind of slow to a drip though, so I will give it a meh for still doing stuff, but not doing a whole lot.
If I would just be parroting basically what everyone else said, about how there's not like a whole lot in these like 3 episodes, because that's not like the focus of these 3 episodes, but it does still give us something. So I'm meh on it.
Okay, it's kind of sounding in the meh region of things. Let's move on into art and animation. Chibi, I think you're taking this one off.
Yes, I am. Okay, so as far as animation goes, again, this was like, what, late 90s, early 2000s for this show?
Something like that, yeah.
So, the animation style is, on par for what was considered the standard at the time. Still, so, and the thing is, like, it's not like it's getting better or getting worse or it's doing anything really phenomenal. Like, I wasn't really impressed with the fight scenes, if I'm gonna be very honest, mostly just because I was just kind of like, this is fine. Like, this isn't bad, but this is, just okay.
Were there fight scenes?
Characters, like,
Sorta.
when we were, there was sort of fighting with the lion.
I guess.
And, like, Luffy just doing all the sort of, what was
Spin,
his
you dumb
ability?
lion! Spin until you are dead!
I feel like you prefer Nun Piece.
I do
over
prefer Nun
the
Piece.
actual
I do.
show.
I really do. We watched these episodes and I just went straight to Nun Piece and just like, oh, so this is where it all comes from.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I think character design is honestly probably one of the bigger things for this set of 4 episodes. We do get, Buggy, who it's a very interesting character design choice, because he is a clown. And I'm not going to talk about his voice just quite yet, because that'll
we got a
come in
section
with
for that.
dubbing. But, you know, I thought that was like an interesting route to go with. I'm like, yes, a circus ship. That's great. And then the Lion Tamer was a little weird, but okay. I mean, I guess it's a theme if we're going to be in a circus for a bit. But I mean, that was all cool. And then we did get to meet Shanks, who is basically just an adult Luffy with red hair. It was kind of like I was getting some same face syndrome with the two of them, and I don't really know why.
Maybe Shanks is his dad. Or maybe everyone just has same face. Maybe he can only draw 3 faces.
Maybe. Maybe. That may be it. So I'm probably gonna give this like a very, very soft yay, because again, the animation didn't really impress me. Some of the character designs are pretty good, but again, like, I'm seeing a little bit of same-facedness with at least 2 examples for characters with Shanks and Luffy. So yeah, very soft yay.
I really enjoyed the animation in these episodes. Yeah, they didn't blow me away, but I also thought they were pretty well done. I liked some of the fight scenes in like episode 4 and 5, but yeah, the Lion Tamer battle, it was cool how they solved the battle, but yeah, the actual fight choreography wasn't anything to write home about. But yeah, as far as, the rest of the episodes, I thought were pretty well animated. I like the character designs for Shanks and Nami. And Buggy. Yeah, I really enjoyed Buggy. I liked how they animate whenever he controls his powers, like detaching his limbs, and I liked whenever they show him getting blown up, and then they show that him being put back together. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I give it a very, very middle of the road yay.
I think I'm thinking along the same lines. The animation's not really different from before. It wasn't super impressive last time. It's not bad, but it's not like astounding here. And you're right, character design is kind of where this is like kind of coming in. I like Buggy. I like what they're doing, like what they have with the characters so far. Shanks is cool. Like some of the, like, I think one thing we haven't really mentioned yet was like kind of like the world art kind of thing that they're doing. Like the circus theme that's going on with some of the stuff is nice. I thought the lion looked cool. I thought the giant eel looked cool. I'd be interested to see more of those like insane animals every now and then. I think that'd be nice. So yeah, overall I think soft yay for this.
I'd have to agree with you, Al. I like the animals character designs. They're cool looking, they're very interesting. I really like Buggy, especially when he like smiles. Like I don't know why, but it's like his evil
Gav,
little
name a smiling clown you don't like.
Pennywise.
It's like
Pennywise.
Some people find that hot. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I've seen some people find it hot.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
You know what? It's the Tim Curry charisma.
I thought you were talking about the recent
I was,
one.
but then I was like, you know what? I would fuck that dude. I would fuck Tim Curry.
Okay.
Now we know that.
You wouldn't?
I
It's amazing.
didn't really think about it ever.
Yeah, you don't have to think about it because you already know.
I don't know, but like anyway, when Buggy smiles, it's like I don't know if it's because his lips are, like, so red and his teeth are so white, but it's very just, like, pleasing to me. And, like, man, I wish my teeth were that white and, like, when
Your
I
lips
used
were
to
that
wear,
red,
like...
and you had a giant
Yeah.
nose. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt here, but we didn't talk about the nose thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because
he hates.
he doesn't like when people make fun of his big nose or mention he has a big nose. Is that not a fake nose?
It might not be.
I think it's not.
Okay.
I
Is
think
there
he's
just a
like
race of clown people?
Some versions of the penguin. And he
The
just
penguin
like
does not have a
embraces
clown nose.
Yeah, but he has like penguin flippers in some versions.
Okay. Like those are deformed hands.
I think
What
he has
makes
like
a clown
deformed
nose?
This is One Piece. Are you questioning
Is it like okay, yeah, is it like blood pooling there or something? Why is it red like that? I don't know. I feel like he has a blood clot that he really needs to get a doctor to look at.
It's a giant pimple.
Oh
Maybe,
god.
yeah.
Oh.
That could...
Who knows?
I'm
But
sorry, what were you saying?
who knows? But anyway, I don't know. I just really like his design, and he's just like so evil looking that it's like, oh, yes, perfect.
Yes, good.
And yeah, it's good. And I don't know, like I like the I like the world, like, too, like the little island thing that they're on. I like the other clown pirates' hats. Their little clown hats are good. I enjoyed that a lot. I don't know. I still think the, like, animation's, like, pretty good for, like, the time period. So, you know, I'd give it, like, a mid to soft yay, because it's not, like, astounding, but it's, like, still good.
Yeah, I mean, I would pretty much just be echoing what you guys said at this point, so I'm just gonna say I also liked the new character designs, especially, like, the clowns were pretty good. I like the aesthetics overall, so I would give it probably a soft yay, too.
Sounded like a soft yay all around. But let's get into the sound and dubbing. Because I feel like we were all kind of lightly mentioning this before, but like let's get into it now. Envy, take us away.
Yes, like before, I've been starting to warm like younger Luffy. I wasn't a big fan of his voice, but older Luffy or current day Luffy, I'm starting to come around to his voice a little bit. I didn't think it was quite as annoying as before. And again, I don't think Colleen Clickenbeard is doing a bad job. It just took me a while to get used to. I mean, Chris Sabat is Chris Sabat. He's always good. Lucy Christensen does Nami. She also does Uraraka and My Hero Academia, and I thought she was pretty good. I liked Shank's voice. I pretty much liked all the other characters. And then there's Buggy. I looked up his voice actor. His name is Mike McFarlane. His most famous role was Master Roshi in the Dragon Ball series, at least the Funimation version. He's fantastic. I mean, yes, is he pretty much doing it's not Mark Hamill's Joker, but it is Mark Hamill's Joker? Yes, but was it still entertaining as fuck to me? Absolutely. So, I really enjoyed all the... I have nothing to praise for the overall with the dubbing, and I thought the sound and the music was pretty good as well. Obviously, we'll go into OP and ending next round, but yeah, for... the regular sound, I enjoyed it, so I give it a high yay for me.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. I liked everyone's keeping their paychecks coming in by putting in consistent work. I don't know that I need to highlight anybody other than Buggy. You know, if you're gonna introduce a character like that and have him have a fun time with the voice actor, good. Yeah, it was good. He was intimidating, but also fun and kind of funny like that. He was without a doubt trying to be Mark Hamill. I don't think there's any question of that whatsoever. But, you know, even then, it's not a bad Mark Hamill impression. So, yeah, I give this yeah, I don't really remember the music as much. But for the dubbing alone for today, yeah, I'll give it a yay.
Yeah, I like the dubbing too. It's pretty consistent. Buggy's good. His voice actor's good. Basically what everyone else said, so yay.
Yeah, I mean, Buggy was the real standout this week.
Oh, not Shushu?
Not Shushu, surprisingly. But Shushu was pretty... Did Shushu speak at all? Did he bark?
He said, "Ruff!"
Yeah, he had
Okay,
barks.
Shushu
Yeah, he
wins
growled.
then. But... Shushu wins for his crowd. Shushu is just adorable. But, yeah, I think the dubbing was still consistently good. I liked it a lot. Give it a yay.
Parrot. Yay.
Alright, sounds like a yay for mostly Buggy. Let's talk openings and endings. I'll take it off. So, it's the same as last time. Not a whole lot new to talk about in regard to the thing they'd been the exact same for the last couple episodes, but I guess just my feelings on it. Yeah, the opening's fine. It's an English opening it's an English, in like the ending's fine. I kind of wish they rewrote the lyrics a little bit because it doesn't really rhyme in a lot of spots. So, yeah, I'm sort of just a meh on it.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Like exactly the same way. So it was a meh for me.
Yeah, my opinion on the theme song and the ending didn't really change from last time. I think it was a meh before, or a kind of...
We can check tape.
I don't know. It was either a kind of high nay, or it was like a meh. I don't know. Either way, I'm feeling kind of meh about it right now, so that's how it will be.
So, I mean, I wasn't really impressed with them last time. I'm still not impressed with them this time. I even was listening to the English version of the song and I was like, eh? So I'm kind of like in the nay to like soft meh sort of region for this one. I don't know. It's just not for me.
So I guess I'm the only one whose opinion on at least the ED I said last time I thought was pretty good, pretty decent, and that hasn't changed. I guess my opinion on the OP has changed dramatically. When we first did One Piece, I said I liked it. Now I love it. I've probably listened to it probably close to 5 to 10 times this week. I think it's catchy as fuck. I love it a lot, and I've listened to both the English and Japanese version. Honestly, this may be unpopular. I think I like the English version more. I don't know why. I just like that adventurous tone that it has. I think it kind of fits with the whole vibe of exploring the sea, trying to find the lost treasure and become a pirate. I just kind of I don't know what it is. I know at least I'm in the minority with this group, but I don't know. I really liked it a lot. So I give it a yay. And although I do kind of I have a theory on why you guys don't like it. You know who sings it in English?
Is it the Vic Mignogna thing?
Yep, it's Vic Mignogna.
I don't really have
I was gonna say, I'm like, this sounds like...
It does sound like him.
Well, it is him,
Yep.
but like that doesn't really have anything on my thing. It's just
Honestly,
yeah.
no. That honestly wasn't why I didn't like it. I just wasn't impressed with it
I'm
at all.
I'm joking. But yeah,
I
it's
will
a
give you
yay
this.
for me.
It does get in your head, but I've had other songs that I don't particularly like in my head as well. It's like just because, at least for me, being an earworm doesn't entirely make you great. But yeah, it's sounding overall a meh, except for one outlier. Let's go into
Guilty.
yeah, no. Hey, you're allowed to like stuff. Absolutely. But let's go into final thoughts. Gav, take us off.
Okay, so like I said when we were talking about plot at first, I really enjoyed these, 3 episodes. I didn't think that I would like One Piece, like, at all. Like, I thought, oh man, One Piece, totally not my style. Like, I'm just not gonna enjoy watching this.
I was
No.
actually just thinking that.
As soon as you see a clown, you're like, oh, yeah, baby. That's what I need, daddy.
Oh my god.
No.
What guy wants to fuck a clown? I thought that's what's going on. Is that, like, not what's going on?
Continue,
You know,
Kev.
tell me I'm wrong if you want. I just don't know.
You're wrong. It's not clowns. I like jesters.
Okay.
But no, I don't know. I like really just enjoyed these episodes, like even before like they introduced like Nami and Buggy and those characters and stuff, like when it was like the backstory with like Luffy and stuff. Like I enjoyed that. I enjoyed Shushu. It's God. What's this? Shushu.
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 How could you forget?
I cried.
Shushu.
I cried a little bit.
Was I the only one who
but-
didn't cry with the dog?
I did not cry, but I
Yes.
definitely felt for the dog.
I felt for the dog. I wasn't crying. I got annoyed.
Heartless. You're heartless. But I really enjoyed like these episodes of One Piece to the point where I think that I would like, you know, I would continue watching it to see what happens, like with the fight with Buggy, and then just like who else joins the crew, because we have some interesting folks so far. So yeah, yay.
Yeah, these episodes kind of surprised me as well, because I was very meh about the first 3 episodes, but I liked these ones a lot more. I definitely feel like the antagonist really helped that. And I think the inclusion of Nami kind of rounded out the team. So I think there were a lot of things to like in these episodes that kind of improved upon the first 3. And the things that I liked in the first 3 stuck around. You know, I still liked Luffy and think he even improved. The other guy, what's his name?
Zoro.
Zoro is still awesome.
Just think Antonio Banderas.
The world is still good. So I would say overall, I actually think I liked it more this week, kind of like what Gav was saying. So I would give it probably a yay now, or at least a soft yay.
I'm probably gonna be the one outlier. So even though these episodes were at least better, at least in like the quality that we were getting, at least with content, I feel that even with like, you know, the fact that we've got like some more interesting characters are joining up, and like we got some backstory for Luffy and things, like I still don't really feel compelled to watch it. Like I feel definitely like still, if it wasn't for the fact that we're doing this right now, I probably wouldn't have watched it, and I probably like wouldn't continue watching it if we end up not going on with this one. So I'm pretty much a meh on this one.
I do agree with what Gav and Yin said. I enjoyed these 3 episodes a lot more than the first 3. I didn't think the first 3 episodes were bad, but I thought these ones were a lot better paced and a lot more emotional. And I got invested, and I would definitely want to see how at least this first fight with Buggy goes. I would want to. I don't know how many more episodes it takes for this battle. Probably, you know, a standard shonen battle, like 2 to 3 more episodes. But as far as continuing it on beyond that, it's kind of weird. But it's almost like the other shows we were watching, like the other long form, where it's like part of me wants to watch it, but then the other part of me is like, it's over 900 episodes.
That's a lot.
Like, it would take years to catch up with it at this point. So,
Well, I think they calculated if you watched it 24 hours a day straight and like just kept going,
Oh
kept
my
going,
God.
Who has the
minus
time?
openings and endings, I think it'd be like 11 days.
Wow.
Wow.
yeah, but
You don't have that kind of time. I get it.
No.
But yeah, but like, but no, like, I'll just say this: after the first 3 episodes, you guys know I voted for Fairy Tail the first round because I would rather have watched that than One Piece. After these 3 episodes, I would definitely say if it wasn't for the long commitment, I would want to continue watching it more. So yeah, I give it a yay.
I think I'm a soft yay here. I think I was a soft yay last time. I don't think my opinion has much changed. Because like, for the most part, I think it's improving in some areas. It's kind of staying the same in some other areas. I didn't enjoy the plot as much this week as I did the first time around, but I enjoyed the characters more. So, yeah, I thought like some additions were good. Other ones maybe made the plot drag a little bit. So yeah, I'm sorry.
You can name names.
It should have been somewhere else in the series. But regardless of that, I think it's a soft yay for me here. I'd still watch it. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, it kind of sounded a softish yay to a yay almost for some of these.
Yeah.
I think maybe other than Chibi. Chibi, did you enjoy it?
I mean, it's kind of a wash for me. Like, I felt these were fine, but I don't exactly feel, like, compelled to continue it. So, yeah.
So, yeah, but still, seems overall positive. Let's move on to our second contender for this week, Jujutsu Kaisen. So, again, we watched episodes 4 through 6, and we're seeing the continuing story of Yuji and everybody else who isn't Yuji. So, Yuji and the team, Megumi and Nobara, I did learn names this week.
Good boy.
Not Gojo today. Gojo's off doing something else. They will go to a juvenile detention center, I believe, and they are going to fight I was about to say demon. It's a curse. You want to say demon.
It
just feels right.
Power sets a lot of the time.
So they go in and they get trapped in a mind labyrinth, and then they meet a slug man who looks like he's straight out of JoJo. And then Nobara goes and fights some masks. Also feels like JoJo. And Yuji gets his hand blown off, and Megumi has to run away, and then Yuji releases his inner demons, and yeah, things go horribly wrong from there. Well, not entirely horribly wrong. He heals his hands back, but then he destroys the slug stand, and but then he goes after Megumi. He wants to kill him, so he rips his own heart out because he's like, "Hey, I'm a demon. I don't need a heart." But I'm not a demon. I'm a curse. I don't need. It just feels so much more natural to say demon. I feel like he's a demon, but he's not a demon. He's the king of curses. Sukuna rips out Yuji's heart so that he can basically hold the body hostage, because it's like, if you kill me, you kill him, and if he switches back, he kills himself. And now I'm gonna kick your ass, Megumi. And Megumi tries to put up a fight, and they fight, and it's pretty cool. And but like, he doesn't go for the killing blow, because he's kind of like hinting at like, do you have like some sort of other power that you're not using? Why aren't you using that? I'm really interested here. But then Yuji takes back over and dies. And then he's in the morgue, but then he's inside of his own mind, or Sukuna's mind, because they're still alive, sort of, but not really. And Sukuna's like, hey, I want out, and I'm going to need you to do it, because there's something that's very interesting to me. I'm not going to tell you what, but I'm going to make a deal with you. Every now and then, I'm going to ask to take over. You're going to let me take over. I promise I won't kill anyone. He's like, no. He's like, how about we fight for it? He's like, okay. And then he dies. And then he comes back to life. And then we meet the panda. And some other girl, and a dude who can only say sushi things.
I love him.
And they're training.
Inumaki.
They're training for Smash Bros.
Perfect.
I mean, they're not training for Smash Bros. They're training. Nobara wants to play Smash Bros. Super bad. They're training for exchange student sport decathlon week. I don't know, something like that.
I forget what it's called, like the something.
The Kyoto Sister School Exchange event.
Exactly, where they're going to train and fight and do stuff. And Yuji has his own training, probably the best training I've ever heard of. Just sit and watch movies for endlessly. With a bear that punches you. Okay, that part's not as great. But overall, I think that's a heck of a great training thing. Meanwhile, some dude with a scar on his forehead is talking with a guy with a volcano for a face, and a squid man, and a... What even the fuck even is the other guy? Doesn't matter. They don't talk.
Tree eyes. It has
sure.
tree eyes.
Sure, he had tree eyes. 1, 2, tree. And the volcano man burns a bunch of people alive because he gets a finger and some guy gave him the finger and he's gonna go kill Gojo, and Gojo is like contemplating a military coup upon his organization, but is also like, nah, I'll get other people to just take over positions and do better. It's like, I could kill everyone, or, we could vote out the bad people. I feel like there's a lesson here somewhere.
Yeah.
But now he's going to fight Volcano Face. And that's what happened this week.
I almost feel like that one clip from Spaceballs. Everybody got that? Good.
I feel like that's every week. So, plot. I think you're leading us off, Yin, right?
Yin, take it
Am
away.
I? Okay. Plot. I liked the plot overall. I think we had some good action stuff in episode 4, although I have some issues with it that I'll talk about later. But overall, I liked the action stuff we got in that one. And then I think we got some good character introductions. We got a lot more of Sukuna, and I think that was really good. But I think that's honestly more character than plot. So I think I definitely have more to say about that. But I would say overall the plot stayed pretty strong. There was a lot going on, I think we got a lot of development about the school, about the curses. We got some introduction of some villains, which was good. So I think it introduced a lot and it continued a lot. And it did a good job of fleshing things out. So I would give the plot a yay.
So, for plot with this one, I felt like we were going at a pretty good clip. We're getting into their first mission as first year is going after a special grade, which we find out they shouldn't be doing. Because that's a thing. Because you're supposed to, I guess, go after curses that are around your same level or maybe lower than you. Because usually for the kind of curse that we would usually have had for a sorcerer to go in would usually have been Gojo. But apparently since he was not there, they had to send the kids in. No, they didn't. But we'll get to that later because apparently that's a plot point. So I felt like we kind of got some development, with the characters, at least with the first years all interacting for episode 4. When we got to episode 5 with the whole fight scene with Megumi and Sukuna, I thought that was pretty good. I really liked it. Like the whole, he's holding Yuji hostage, because if, he kills him, Yuji dies, but then if Yuji comes back, he still dies, so it was just kind of Megumi had his hands tied at that point, so I'm just kind of oh my god, what's he gonna do? And, yeah, it was just kind of yeah, I liked that whole episode. I don't know. It was interesting. And I do feel like we got some more plot stuff, kind of setting groundwork, at least for these 3 episodes, in that after Yuji dies, and basically Megumi and Nobara are training for the Kyoto Sister School exchange event, that's gonna be setting some groundwork, I feel like, for a later plot thread. We get a little bit more of a plot thread with Sukuna and Megumi in the fact that Sukuna is what's this other ability that you're not doing right now? Oh, what are you doing? What's this thing that you were going to try to do before Yuji came back? So I feel like that's probably going to come up at a later point, which I feel like is an interesting thing that they added in, because then it's kind of Sukuna also, then gets in, an ulterior motive, which I think, okay, cool, fine. And then, starting at, the end of episode 5, going into episode 6, when we get introduced to, Suguru and the other curses who are all in that cafe, we get another new sort of plot thread that I felt was kind of interesting with the Prison Realm box, where they're going to try to capture Gojo inside said box and kind of like keep him prisoner so he can't stop them. Because these curses are all trying to bring Sukuna back. So that is another interesting plot thread that I felt like they introduced. And then with Yuji coming back to life, with the whole, oh, let's make a deal. I do this thing. If you can beat me in a fight, you know, we don't have to make the pact. But if I win and you lose, then you don't remember anything. So it just kind of all sets up like an interesting plot for, I think, further down the line that we're not obviously seeing within these 3 episodes. And then there's more about Yuji starting his training for his, you know, cursed energy and cursed technique, because while he has cursed energy, he doesn't really know how to use it other than with, like, brute strength. So I feel like these 3 episodes, like, they had things going for them. I felt like we were going at a smooth clip again. And I also felt like there was just, like, a lot of groundwork being laid for later plot threads. So, yeah, I'd give these episodes a yay.
Oh boy, everyone's gonna hate me. I thought the plot was a meh. There were some things about it I liked. There were some things about it I loved. But a lot of it I was kind of like, what the hell? Or I didn't like at all. Stuff that I loved. I liked the fights with the cursed spirits. I loved the action. I loved the fight scenes. That technically deals with the story. So yeah, I enjoyed all the fight scenes, especially the possessed Yuji versus Megami fight. I really enjoyed that. I liked the stuff with Sukuna. I liked how, you know, they had he had to work out a deal with him, and I liked that exchange they had. And I didn't expect Yuji to die and then come back to life. I thought that was a cool twist. I thought the stuff with the spirits in the cafe talking about the master plan or whatever, I thought that was interesting. And, you know, the whole carnage that happened, you know, with the you know, him killing everybody in the cafe. I thought that was a really chilling scene that I thought worked well. My biggest problem with these episodes, for me personally, was tone. I thought the tone personally was all over the place. I didn't know whether or not it wanted to be serious or if it wanted to be comedic or a little bit of both. I get, you know, I get it that a series doesn't have to be down and gloomy all the time. I mean, for heaven's sake, I love JoJo. That's like the king of camp. But I don't know. I just felt like like you go from an episode where Yuji freaking dies and gets his heart ripped off to him training to become a master sorcerer by watching movies with a thing punching him every time he gets distracted. I'm sorry. I just thought it was stupid. I didn't like that at all. I just thought when I was watching it for the first time, I was like, what the hell am I watching? Wasn't this supposed to be about fighting sorcerers or something like that? And as it goes on, I know there's a reason why that one guy can only speak in, you know, food slang, and that's later on in the episode. But when I first watched, I was like, wait, what the hell's going on? So I don't know. I just felt like the tone was inconsistent with the whole idea behind the show. And again, maybe that's just the style it goes for. Maybe I know it works for a lot of people because people are absolutely loving the show. It won freaking Anime of the Year at the Crunchyroll Anime Award. So maybe it's just something that I'm not getting. I know there's an arc coming later on that I really loved, but obviously that this is these 3 episodes. I know I'm kind of rambling, but I don't know. I just, for these 3 episodes, I kind of thought the plot was middling at best at times, so I'll give it a meh.
So you were confused by the guy who could only speak the names of, like, ingredients.
At first.
The talking panda, that's just totally normal for you. They don't explain that at all.
They do later.
Well, it's not here.
Envy. I think maybe a part of it is just the fact that you have such, like, goofy characters in what was sort of like a serious sort of show for a couple of episodes. I mean, let's face it, Gojo's a little bit, he's not
Goofy?
exactly the most serious sensei that we've ever seen.
Oh no, I love Gojo as a character. I think he works well to like lighten the mood because again, you don't want a show that's completely, berserk levels all the time. I get that. I just felt like some of the comedic elements I just didn't find that amusing or funny. Like the whole sequence with him training by watching movies. I don't know. I just don't get
Yeah.
how that trains you to become a better sorcerer. I maybe it explained it and I just missed it, but I don't know. I just
I thought
it
it
was
explained
about
it,
like
yeah. It's
it
about,
was explained. It was like negative emotions because like watching the movies, he was supposed to get like real tense and like it was
No,
supposed
I think
to be
the
about
idea was about being able to. I might as well.
Maintain it?
Why don't I just get into my end of it?
Go.
So, like, I think in regard to that, like, I think that first off, I feel like it's a very Miyagi kind of deal. Wax on, wax off, do something mundane to learn the basic skills or something. I think he was trying to train him to have a constant output of a particular emotion despite distraction. It's kind of like, I think it was kind of like some people practice for the SATs or something with like TVs blaring in the background and a bunch of other stuff to distract them. Because if you put yourself in a bad, in like a situation that's not ideal for taking a test, that way when you take a test, even if there is something going on that kind of would normally distract you or cause you a problem or something, you're fine. It's basically him, if you're going to fight someone, you're not thinking about a whole lot of it's not going to be easy to concentrate on a singular emotion and maintaining that. But if you do it at a lower level, watching a movie and trying to maintain a mindset while being distracted on a regular basis, I think that's the basic idea. Because the thing only attacked. Yeah.
I get that, but at the same time, I just don't know how specifically watching movies makes your powers grow stronger or makes you control your powers more. Like, I get it, it puts you in a better mindset, but I don't know how.
Because it's like he has to concentrate on the movie, but he also has to it's splitting his focus with
Yeah, but again,
something
how does that
that
increase his magic power or his sorcery power?
I don't think it's about increasing his
I think
power.
It's the
about
focus or honing it.
Yeah, it's increasing his control. It's not about throwing power. It's about how you're throwing the power. And he needs to know how to control it first. Because I guarantee you, he's got Sukuna. He already has a shit ton of curse energy in him. But what he needs is to know how it feels and how it feels to maintain it.
Yeah.
And I think doing that while watching a movie and focusing on a plot and story and all that other sort of stuff, which would make you distract you enough to stop thinking about the training, is kind of a perfect environment for him to learn that.
Yeah, I think I get those parts, but I also kind of maybe agree with Envy on certain parts of the humor that felt jarring to me too. Like, certain parts just didn't land for me, like when Yuji was like a ghosty Yuji, like that weird like white outline for like a whole minute. It just felt like they were stretching out a joke so long that it wasn't funny anymore.
When was that?
It was like during when he was talking to Gojo.
I'm gonna bring up a bit about that when we
There
come to
are a
animation.
lot of humor. Yeah, there are a lot of humor parts that are like that, where it just feels like it goes so long that it's no longer funny, and it breaks up a serious moment. Like when they were in the cursed womb thing, they did that too with like a funny little animation in the middle. So I don't know if that's what you were talking about, Envy, but sometimes the tone switches so drastically that it feels
Yeah.
I mean, I personally didn't have.
I'm sorry to interrupt your time out.
No, you're
I
fine.
didn't mean to do that.
We were having a discussion. We were like going back and forth because you had an issue. I thought I might have been able to explain it.
I feel like for a series like this though, that like a tone switch like that is sort of disconcerting kind of fits though, because the whole show is supposed to be a little disconcerting. But I don't know. That's just me. Anyway,
I think it worked. Are you going?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just worked better for me, like, in the manga, maybe, because it would happen for, like, a flash second in a panel. Like, it happened there, too. But then when you watch the show, it feels like they're just staying with it for too long. Like, there's something weird about the editing or something. So I was a little bit off-put by that, and I could see what Envy meant. But I think, like, the stuff that was going on around it was so good that it didn't completely like mess up the plot for me, but I felt like it was a little jarring, so I kind of agree with him on that.
All right,
That's all. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna keep my thing short. I enjoyed the fights. I enjoyed the plots that are being developed, both the A plot of learning how to do this cursed energy stuff and fighting stuff, and Sukuna's doing it, but like also the B plots. Gojo is trying to like do something with the government. There is some sort of like evil organization trying to take down Gojo. There is Sukuna who's got his plans for something. Something's going on with Megumi. There's a lot going on here for plot wise. Yes, maybe there are some tonal issues. I personally didn't see much of a problem with the tonal issues, but yeah, we also even have new characters coming in who are developing their own. Like it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of main plot going on, but I feel like there's so many side plots for every character going on right now that it's working, that I think everything is still moving, that's all kind of weaved back together really well. I'm hoping. I don't know, but I'm hoping. I am one of the few people who decided not to look ahead. But
Yeah.
for right now, I am a yay on this still, and I'm enjoying the plot. So, yeah. Had to rush mine out there.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I like the discourse.
So I guess I'm like pretty much on the same boat as you, Al. Like, I think that the subplots and everything like work, and I hope that it all comes together in like a nice packaged way. Because I mean, I've seen more than what we're supposed to watch, but I'm not, like, finished with it, like everyone else is. So, there's, like, I still don't know, like, a lot of it. But I enjoyed what I saw. Like, I enjoyed the fight scenes. I enjoyed, like, the plot, like, the plots going on and all that stuff, like, and everything that we're introduced to. Like, I'd still give it a yay.
Okay, seems like an overall yay. One outlier again. A couple of you play devil's advocate a little bit. I respect that. But yeah, it seems like an overall yay for the plot. Let's get into characters. Chibi, I think you're leading us off on this one.
Yeah. Okay, so for characters, first I'm going to talk about, like, the characters that we already sort of, like, have been introduced to. And then I'll talk about some of the newer ones that we just recently met. So for our main trio, for Yuji Tadori, this kid, poor boy, he just went through, he just went through it. Basically, like, for this first mission, he kind of has a bit of a crisis, where he's like, oh, I am really weak. I'm probably gonna die here. And he's like, it's just a very human moment that you don't usually see in shonen anime, because, like, a lot of times in shonen anime, there's just, like, a hell ton of, like, determination with, like, our main protagonist, and, like, they're like, yeah, I can do anything, and, like, I just believe in myself. And Yuji is very clearly like, no, this isn't a proper death. I'm going to die here. But he's, like, still fighting, trying to, you know, stall for time so his friends can get out of here, because Nobara disappeared down a shadow hole and is fighting some mask things. And Fushiguro ran off to go and find her. So up until that point, basically he's just like, I'm gonna try to save my friends, but I'm still not enjoying myself right now. So, like, it was just kind of, like, sort of sad, really watching him just really struggle. And then Sukuna became, like, interesting as well, in that he's just, like, you know, he's fighting Megumi. He's like, oh, you've got some hidden abilities that you're not planning on using yet, and I want to see what they are. So he gets not really development, but we get ulterior motives for him, as I said before, with plot. Megumi, we learned that he's obviously, like, you know, he's someone with a lot of conviction. Again, we already know this. He didn't want Itadori to die in the first place, and he still doesn't regret it. Even after Sukuna's basically just kicking his ass. And then Gojo, obviously, we get some character development with him in that he really just hates everything that's kind of going on with, like, the system right now, and so I think that's an interesting character point. And then we get to meet a lot of new people in Maki Zenin, Inumaki Toge, Panda. And we also very briefly get to meet Ijichi, who is like the driver, and Shoko Ieri, who is the doctor who basically was about to dissect Yuji when he was in the morgue. And we don't really get a whole lot of character development for them right now, but they're just kind of there. So apparently, Zenin is an interesting character in that she can't see cursed spirits, but she's like the strongest with weapons. Inumaki can't speak because he can only name ingredients because his speech is obviously, I guess, really powerful. And Panda is a talking panda, as far as we know for now. And it was just like an interesting new bunch of cast members that we got to meet. And then we also got to meet Suguru and a bunch of other curses. Jogo, who's the volcano head. Hanami, who is the one with the tree eyes. And then the little octopus thing. I don't really know what their
Cthulhu.
name is. Yin, do you remember? Because I don't.
It's Cthulhu.
Oh, I
not sure
don't
if they were
remember.
named.
Cthulhu.
Anyway, so we basically get to meet all of them, and while Suguru and Jogo, Volcano Head, are the ones doing most of the talking, they seem kind of interesting for right now. So as far as characters go, I feel like we got some character development moments. We got like some surprising moments for a shonen anime. And overall, I'd give it a yay.
I mean, for me personally, I thought the characters were pretty decent. Yuji, I thought he had some cool moments. I liked his conviction, with Sukuna. Same thing with Megumi. I thought, even though he knew going in he was gonna lose his battle against Akana, I thought he, still did the best he could. So I thought, that helped a little bit. Gojo is Gojo. He's the sorcerer with the sass and the swag, so I liked that. I didn't mind Sukuna this week. I thought he was a pretty interesting villain in some ways. To answer your question earlier, Al, about why I wasn't confused about a giant talking panda, we literally had a scene with a demon with a volcano for a head, or a sorcerer, their spirit with a volcano for a head. So I think after you see that, anything's possible.
I'm sorry, that is a curse person. I am aware. He's basically a demon. I'm not surprised that he looks weird. The talking panda, as far as I'm aware, is not a curse or a demon. He is just a panda.
Well, you'll see.
That's why I'm confused. I'm not weirded out by the fact that the demons look weird. I'm weirded out by the fact that someone who's apparently so normal looks so weird.
How do you know he's just a panda? Like,
I know he can't be just a panda. Maybe he's a robot. I don't know.
But yeah, overall, and then we get introduced, to the panda and the other two. Again, we don't really get used to them that much, but I thought they were interesting. So yeah, I'm kind of a soft yay with the characters.
I think I'm a yay overall. Not a whole lot to add in regard to Yuji, Megumi, and Gojo. They were good last time. They're good here. Nobara still hasn't gotten a whole lot, but I do like there was like one character moment they kind of had between her and Megumi where they're kind of talking about how Yuji died and they're both kind of like trying to hold it together, but they're not really. I thought that was kind of a nice little character moment for both of them. I think maybe I'm noticing what you're talking about because immediately afterwards she's just super excited about a Smash Bros tournament that doesn't happen. But yeah, the new characters we got, they seem interesting. Volcano Face, cool. Don't know anything about the other ones yet, but they're clearly evil. The comic relief characters like the driver worked. Cool. Good for you. The new characters who showed up, very interesting. Let's see where what's gonna happen there. Stand out to me with Sukuna. He definitely came in guns blazing and was just having a great time being out and about for once in a very long time, and I found him very interesting to watch. So he was like, I feel like the last couple of weeks we've mostly been like, oh, the villains are really making it for us, and that definitely happened for me this week. So yeah, I'm a yay.
Yeah, I really like the characters. There's not, like Al said, there's not much more to be said about Yuji and Megumi. They get a little bit of like development and it works out for them. The new characters all seem pretty cool and interesting so far. So do the villains. And like Jogo is very like, you can just tell he's very evil and very heated. Haha, not to make a pun because he's a volcano.
You were making a pun. You were absolutely making a pun. How dare you?
And Suguru, he's obviously like the leader dude, and he's interesting. Like, I want to know more about like his deal. And it's just like everyone keeps my interest. Like, they all hold my interest, and I want to learn more about all of them. So I give it a yay for characters.
I definitely would agree with that. I give it a yay for characters. I think Yuji and Megumi stood out in a way, as you guys all said, and especially characters like Sukuna and some of the villains introduced like Suguru and Jogo really stood out as well. I also really like the new classmates, like Inumaki, I think is interesting. Like, one thing is that every character is very unique, like in their skill set, in the way that they look, their personalities. Like, you get a really good sense of right off the bat.
One's a panda.
I mean, how can you do that? So it's just like, I think...
Explain it.
They will later. I think,
Later.
But I actually don't mind, like, not knowing right away. Like, something can just be odd, and I think that's fine, you know? I think it actually fits with, like, the oddness of the show in a way. So I like the oddness of a lot of the characters, especially like the kind of scenes where like Suguru just walks into a restaurant with all these weird looking dudes around him.
No, they couldn't see them though.
Yeah, they couldn't see them, but I mean, we can, you know? So just like, it feels odd, even though to everybody else it doesn't look odd. It looks odd to us, you know? So I don't know. It gives the show a lot of character, you know, in aesthetics and in the feel. So I really liked all the characters and what they add to the show. So yeah, I would give it a high yay in terms of the characters.
I think that was everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems an overall yay for character stuff this week for Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's kick on over to world building. Envy, take us off.
Well, they definitely did a lot more world building. They expanded a lot. They expanded a lot more with the world building this week. Well, these 3 episodes, you get more information on curses. You definitely get more information on like how the role and the different rules and stuff that of how the sorcery energy works. I can't talk right now. You got there's a lot of interesting things that do come up, you know, like with the dynamic of Yuji and Sakuna's conversation inside his body. I thought that was kind of interesting. And then you get more information on the other cursed spirits in the world. You know, how they're trying to come together to take down Gojo, and you know, pretty much create a world where spirits and humans coexist. But obviously, that's not going to last. So yeah, I definitely think that they do explain more and show more about how this world works. So I give it a yay.
I'm a yay here too, and I think the one thing that I was really wondering about last week was how this magic stuff works, and they did explain it this time around. So it's not just you're fighting cursed objects and curses, you are fighting with cursed energy that you create yourself. And I was like, okay, cool. use their power against them, kind of thing. That's good, because I was really wondering how that guy was summoning wolves out of nowhere and doing stuff like that. And plus we got a displays of more kinds of powers and stuff like that, and different things that people can do. Example, we have new summoned creatures from Megumi, and Megumi is also working on some new technique that we might find out next episode if this moves on to another week. We're learning that he clearly has some hidden talent somewhere. Sukuna is like hinting at a couple different things, not only with Megumi, but also that people might not entirely understand what curses really are. I have a feeling we're going to have like some sort of Madoka Magica moment where we find out that the witches were magical girls. Oh no, spoiler. We also got to look at some of the more sentient curses. I feel like all the curses that we've seen so far have been kind of mindless a little bit. Maybe not mindless. The first one had a bit of a conscience, I think, but these other ones seem like really put together. And we're learning a little bit about that in the world. We're learning about...
long time.
Huh?
They've been around for a long time.
I got that feeling, yeah. But we're learning that there's more to it than just an exorcism organization. There's also different branches of it where we're expanding on a lot of things. I think episodes 1 through 3 had a really great base to work off of, and this is where we're expanding outward and filling up the world a little bit more. And I think that's definitely great. So I'm giving it a yay.
Yeah, I would have to agree with both you and Envy. It's like we're getting more information about the sorcerers and the cursed energy and the curses in general, and that's good. That's what this world building is for. It's why we want it and why it's a category and why we judge it. Yeah. And it's just, they do a pretty good job these like 3 episodes, like going into like more depth while still like introducing like characters and all that stuff. Like it's like very well rounded, I feel like. Like how we were saying with One Piece, it was like they're focusing more on characters instead of world building. But in this, they're like definitely laying on the world building while like keeping everything else like interesting as well. So I'd give it a yay.
Yes, I would definitely give it a yay for world building as well. I think they do a really good job of explaining more about the curses and how people use curse techniques. We got a little bit at the beginning with the guy explaining some stuff to like Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara before they go in. And then we got some stuff with Gojo teaching Yuji as well. And we got some more character stuff with that too, with the interactions between the two. So I think they do a good job of melding the character development with the world building development. I think we got some more, in a way, I think we even got some more world building stuff through Sukuna, because like he uses the domain expansion and stuff like that. So I think I don't remember if that was the first time we saw somebody use that, but that was definitely the first, like that seemed really significant so far.
I want to say yes.
I think that was the first one we saw, and I thought it was a really cool moment the way that they did it. So I was really happy with that. And I think it's good to introduce that now because it'll become so important later. And I think they did a good job at introducing stuff that will be important later. So I'd give it a yay for the world building.
Yeah, I'm also gonna give it a yay for world building. I'm not gonna really parrot a whole lot of things. But I feel like it was kind of an interesting thing for them to introduce, like the idea that there are people who fight curses who can't actually see them in the character for Maki. So, like, in order for her to fight curses, like, she doesn't use cursed energy. She uses what are known as cursed objects, which is, like, some of the weapons that she carries around with her.
Did I miss them explaining this?
What?
Did I miss them explaining that she couldn't see, like, curses and shit?
That's not
they explained it.
That's not these episodes.
Oh, they didn't
It is-
explain in these episodes?
You motherfuckers
Well,
are spoiling.
so here's
no,
the
I
thing. They
thought
didn't say that she couldn't see. They said she uses cursed objects and that she's like one of the strongest people who can fight them, like physically. Like the seeing thing doesn't come up until later, but yeah, she uses objects to fight them instead of like actual cursed energy. So I thought that was like an interesting thing to sort of introduce.
Was that everyone?
That's everyone.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it seemed like an overall yay for world building this week. Let's move on to art and animation. I think that's me.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm a yay here. I think character design and everything is staying consistent, and the new stuff that we've seen so far has been good. I keep wanting to say demon. The curses look good. They're interesting. Slugman was intimidating when he shows up. Sukuna is very cool whenever he shows up and does his thing. The fight scenes, great. Panda, still don't get it, but okay. You look good, man. Everything looks good here. Everything's smooth. Mappa's doing good. Mappa knows how to animate. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it besides that, like, what everything Al just said. The animation's good, the character designs look good and cool and interesting, the fight scenes are really great, yeah. Yay.
Yeah, I definitely have to go with a yay. Just like in Jujutsu Kaisen's first round, I mean, the animation remains absolutely gorgeous. The fight scenes in particular are standouts still. Especially like I said before, Sukuna's domain expansion, his scenes with the curse at the detention center, and also his fight with Megumi looked fantastic. I mean, I was very much into that fight. It looked great. I think the designs for the curses like Jogo are really good. Just the character designs in general look really good of the new characters. So I would definitely give it a yay in animation.
I will give it a yay as well overall. Again, fight scenes look great. Character designs are good. Like general animation's obviously gorgeous. There was one small little walking cycle that I thought was a little strange. But I was just like, okay, this is only on the screen for like a second or two, so maybe it can be overlooked. And then the only other thing I really have to say about it is when Yuji basically turned into Doodle Bob version of himself, that I just I didn't really start laughing, but I just kind of like my jaw dropped a little bit and I just stared at the television and I was like,
I really think I missed Doodle Bob.
It looked so weird to me. I didn't like it at all.
Like all I thought about when he was just like, oh, I can't do it, I can't do anything, I can't do his shotting gun. I thought I'd be able to do all this. I heard
now I remember.
Wasn't it weird?
Nah, it was comedic effect.
I thought
It was a funny
it
scene.
lasted way too long to me. I thought it was awkward and it was all CGI and weird. I don't know. I
Did
didn't
not
like
bug
it.
me.
It was
Did
a
not bug
little
me.
weird to do that with 3D animation, but I think they do a good bit of the animation for this show with 3D animation, so I think they didn't want to switch over to a different medium if they could help it.
It's fair, but ugh, I don't like it.
Yeah,
Made me uncomfortable.
again, Doodle Bob UG. Okay, great.
So it's
but
a nay for you, I guess.
No, it's a yay.
Yeah, I mean, to pretty much parrot what everyone else is saying, if there's one thing I'll definitely continue to praise the show for is that it's visually gorgeous. And yeah, I mean, yeah, Mappa is doing a really, 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 really good job with the action choreography and the animation for that. It's some of the best I've seen in a TV anime in a long time. It's really good. I mean, obviously, UFO Table, if you're talking about like budget, like obviously they're the king, but as far as like actual choreography and the movements, I think they're like near the top. They're really good. So yeah, it's a high yay for me.
It seems like yays all around for art and animation. Why don't we move on to sound and dubbing? Gav, start us off.
Okay. So sound, dubbing, voices. um, I liked everyone's voices. There weren't like any voices like that threw me off or anything. I thought the new characters sounded good, like the new students and the curses, like they all were fine. Um and the music is good as always. So it's a yay for me. I don't really have a whole lot to say on it, to be honest.
I have something to say. I couldn't stand the sound design in episode 4. What happened? It was quiet like the majority of the time. I understand maybe it was supposed to feel tense, but it felt really awkward to me. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but it felt like I was watching like the first cut of something. It was very like strange. It kind of threw off the entire episode for me, and I thought the episode visually looked great. But there was something about the pacing, and I think part of it was that it was missing music half the time, or the music was so low that you could barely hear it. So it made, like, especially the jokes in the episode feel really awkward. Like, I don't know what happened, but it, like, fucked me up a little bit. But the other 2 episodes, the music was fine. Like, the score felt present. It was good. I don't know if they were running out of time with episode 4 or something. Maybe I'm just crazy, but it was real weird to me. The dubbing still remains good. I think all the voices sound good, and I will say that I liked Sukuna better in these episodes than I did in the first one. I remember in the first round I kind of said he sounded weird to me. He sounded a little bit less weird this time, I think because he had more to work with. Like, we actually saw, like, more, I don't know, different modes for him than just, like, oh, I'm free and I'm crazy. I think, like, since we saw him having a few different emotions, like, the voice worked for me better. So I even liked him this time around. I think the dubbing overall is really good. I liked the voices for the new characters. It was just the sound design in episode 4 that I thought was odd. So I would give it a soft yay just because of that, but everything else was good.
So I'm gonna give this a yay. To comment a little bit on the thing from episode 4, I guess this is just a me thing. I personally wasn't like weirded out by it or anything, but I think it was just like, I think they're adding to the disconcertingness of the fact that, like, hey, we're not gonna put anything here, so that way it just doesn't feel quite right because they're in, like, the cursed domain, the cursed womb, which is what they called it. Like, I don't know, I feel like it was supposed to evoke that sort of, like, I'm supposed to feel uncomfortable kind of emotion. So I feel like they may have hit it on the head, like, sort of trying to, like, get that out of us by not giving us any music for there. Again, otherwise, like, yeah, score is very nice. Voice acting was good. I really have no complaints. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, I guess I didn't notice the sound problems in episode 4 that much. I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying as much attention to it,
It
or
might have
more
just been me. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like, maybe I was just more focused on what was happening on screen than the background music. But as far as the rest of the soundtrack, I thought it was pretty good. And as far as the dubbing, I mean, obviously, Sukuna does a lot more of these episodes. You can see him, the voice actor, having a good time. The rest of the main cast that we saw from the first 3 are still pretty good. We didn't get a lot with the new cast, but I know you definitely do later on, so maybe they'll see their voices shine more. So yeah, I'm kind of like a soft yay with that.
I think I'm a yay here. I didn't really have that problem with the lack of music in the episode 4 that you're talking about. And I think the voices all worked. I think Yuji's still fun and funny. Like he still gets like those lines every now and then out of nowhere. There's like I just laugh at. Like he's in Sukuna's lair, for a lack of a better word, I guess. His mind or whatever. He's like, oh my god, oh, this must be hell. I'm in hell with you. All right, we're not dead. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He has this. I love his sort
His
of like
delivery is great.
nonchalant. Yeah, it's like, oh, so things aren't bad. All right. Guess things are okay. So he's good. Everyone else from before does well. The new people do well, and Sukuna again. You got to highlight him. We've been highlighting a little bit. Buggy was great. Raditz was great. Sometimes you just get a good villain role and a voice actor who really just has fun with the character. And he's having fun with the character, and we're having fun with him having fun with the character. So, I'm a yay on this.
I think that was everyone, right?
Was that everyone? Oh, I guess we started with Gav.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it seemed, other than some people's misgivings about a particular episode,
It was just like such a minor thing.
Yep.
The rest was really good. So
it looks like an overall yay. Moving on to openings and endings. Will that be Chibi next?
No.
Or wait, who's
I
next?
think it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're next. Sorry, I'm losing my place.
It's openings and endings, right?
Yes, openings and endings. The other sounds.
Yes, this is the same as the first round, and I have the same feelings. It's a yay for me, probably even a high yay. I mean, the ending is such a jam. It's amazing. And the beginning is really good too. Actually, I think I might have liked the opening better this time than I did the first time. I think I didn't remember the song very well like the first time, though the visuals were awesome. But now the song kind of gets stuck in my head with the opening. I think it's actually like a lot better now for me. So I would actually say, if anything, the opening and ending are even higher now. So it's kind of high yay on opening and ending.
I will also give it a high A as someone who is constantly listening to those two particular songs on her way to and from work. I have nothing to say but good things. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the opening, I always thought the opening was gorgeous visually. The song, at first, like when I was first listening to it, I was kind of like, it was okay, but yeah, it has grown on me a little bit more since I've been listening to it. I mean, technically I finished the first core, but like for this competition, yeah, I do. The song is getting a little bit better in my eyes, and you guys know how much I freaking loved the ED. So yeah, I mean it's a fuck yay for the ED and kind of a soft yay for the opening. So yeah, it rounds out to a solid yay.
So I'm actually kind of a nay here. I don't know what happened. It just it fell off for me. I don't know. These still work. These still work very well. I'm a yay. I'm kind of wondering because like I feel like I'm usually. I've often said in this tournament, more than I think I normally would, that I like the ending better than the opening. And I feel like that's come up more times than I thought that it would in this tournament. Just kind of a weird thing. But yeah, this is one of those ones. This is a really good ending and a good opening, and yeah, yay.
I still have the same feelings that I did before. That they're both good songs with good visuals, and yeah, yay.
Yeah, it sounds like an overall yay. Final thoughts? Chibi.
Do you need to ask?
Yes, that's why we're here.
I mean, I feel like my answer is obviously very much like a high yay. Like, I don't really have any bad things to say about it. As you all obviously know, I've already gone on to continue watching more. So, yeah.
It's kind of weird for me because I'm all caught up with what's been aired so far of the show, but it was around like the first 3 episodes. I you know how people say give the anime a 3-episode rule. sometimes I like
That's
to
why
expand.
we do this thing.
Well, yeah, but like you know how overall, like, yeah, the 3 episode rule, like, sometimes I'd like to expand on that and say the first 6 episode rule, because sometimes a show tends, especially if it's a longer show, like a 2 core show, sometimes you don't get a lot of development or intrigue in the first 3 episodes, and I don't want to judge it solely off of that. I mean, I remember the first couple episodes of Steins Gate weren't the greatest either, and if I would have dropped it after episode 3, I wouldn't have watched my favorite anime of all time. So, to make a very long story short, when I was originally watching this, when it was airing, it was around episodes 5 and 6 that I was starting to get a little, I don't want to say confused, but I was like wondering, what am I missing? Why is this like exploding with popularity? I'm not trying to be a hipster or anything like that. I want to enjoy a show that's got a lot of hype behind it. I mean, I love My Hero Academia, and that's one of the bigger shows, and I love JoJo and all that stuff, but I don't know, something about it wasn't as interesting to me. But so I'm kind of like a softish yay to a meh overall. If this goes on further in the tournament, I can explain my feelings a lot more.
I'm a yay here too. I think it did everything that it did last time and expanded upon it. I have no reason not to want to continue watching this. Yay.
I'm a yay. I enjoy it a lot, and I mean, I've continued watching it more, so if that's anything to go off of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously a yay as well. I've also continued watching it. I've read it, I'm a big fan of the whole property, so I would definitely be a yay in this category.
Well, it sounds like yays all around. Time to fight it out, everybody. It's One Piece versus Jujutsu Kaisen. Who's gonna come out on top? Anybody's game. Let's do this. Plot. NV, I think you're leading us off.
It's kind of weird, and I know damn well I'm going to be the 4-1 outlier in this, but even though more stuff happened in Jujutsu Kaisen, and even though episode 6 of One Piece was kind of like a somewhat filler episode with what was its name? Shushu or
Shushu.
Shushu, yeah.
Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour, there you go. I honestly enjoyed the plot more to One Piece. I was more engaged. I was more invested. I don't get me wrong. There was still stuff in Jujutsu Kaisen that I enjoyed a lot, and there were some things that I was excited for in the to see in the future. But at the same time, the issues that I brought up when I was talking about the plot and the individual category, I know I'm going to be the outlier, but I just have to say it. Sometimes I just didn't like some of the decisions with the plot. And yes, I know the Shushu thing was a bit of a filler, but I loved that side story, and I loved the overall dynamic of Luffy's backstory and the dynamic with Nami, and I loved the dynamic with Buggy the Clown. So, kind of like what I kind of like what before. I got to go with One Piece.
I hear what you're saying. I do. I don't entirely agree with it though, because I
don't expect anybody to agree with me.
Well, the reason being, I think even though, like, I feel like both of these shows had enough plot that it's comparable to each other, but I think that Jujutsu Kaisen was a little more focused and established more, and, we can talk backstory in that in cases of a plot, but it feels a little more character-esque to me, at least category-wise. So I would give, like, I feel like the plot of One Piece would put more points into character for me than it would for actual plot, and and Jujutsu Kaisen clearly has a lot of plot going, and I like that, and I'm going to Jujutsu Kaisen.
I mean, I like the plot for both of them a lot, but I feel like as far as, like, what's driving the story more, I'd have to go with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I think I'm in a similar position. I really liked the first 2 episodes of One Piece, but the third one kind of threw me. for all the reasons we talked about, and also I think Jujutsu Kaisen did a really good job of laying out things that are gonna be really important for the future. So I think not only were the 3 episodes really good for packing in a lot of plot, but it also set up a lot that will happen down the line. So I'm gonna go with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I'm also giving it to Jujutsu Kaisen for pretty much the same reasons that Ian just listed. Also, just like it doesn't feel like the plot's really like dragging. The pacing feels pretty good. One Piece still like it's picking up a little bit of pace and plot, but it still feels like we're not necessarily meandering a little bit, but we're just like we're slowly cruising along. And I don't know. Sometimes for me that just doesn't work. So I gotta go with something that keeps me engaged.
It sounds like it's an overall yay going to Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah. Moving along into character. I think I'm leading us off on character, aren't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one's actually kind of close for me. Because I think both of these did a good job of keeping the characters already established in our good graces, and they also established new characters and made them interesting. I think Jujutsu Kaisen has a bit of an advantage because I think it established more characters simply from a numbers perspective. But I don't know that that's necessarily going to put it ahead of One Piece. I think overall, because like I think what it comes down for me right now is that like a big thing when we came to character, we were talking about. At least for me, I was talking Buggy and Sukuna, and I thought both were great, and both were definitely the highlights of these 3 episodes. I think that Sukuna did just a little bit more in not only establishing his own character and motivation, but also furthering the plot a little bit. I know I'm trying to separate character and plot, but when a character is pushing something for character reasons, I think that worked a little bit more for me. So, give him the slight edge to Jujutsu Kaisen on this one.
Yeah, with for me it's kind of the same. It's really close, but I feel like the characters that we were introduced to in Jujutsu Kaisen and that we are like continuing to get to know in Jujutsu Kaisen just like are being developed a little more than the characters in like One Piece. Like we don't get much with Zoro in One Piece like this week. And I feel like even though we get to know Nami, like we still don't like know her as much as like the new villains like who have their own plot thing going on, who have a lot of screen time. Like they were given like the curses, they were given like so much screen time to go over like their thoughts and like kind of like develop their whole shtick. So I gotta give it to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I would also give it to Jujutsu Kaisen just because I feel like there were a great variety of characters introduced, and each one of them, I feel like I got a really good feel for them, even if I don't know that much about them yet. Like, they had some unique quality that stood out, and I think we got a lot of development, specifically in terms of Megumi and Yuji. And also Sukuna, as Al said, stuck out a lot. I think they really did a good job showcasing him in these episodes. So for all those and we got introduced to like Suguru and the curses and the panda. I mean, how can you beat that? Once again, you got a panda. So yeah, I would go with Jujutsu Kaisen.
I will also give it to Jujutsu Kaisen. Not that One Piece didn't do like character work with this. It introduced some new characters. It introduced an interesting antagonist for a little bit. It's developing some like interactions between our other characters and getting our crew together, and giving Luffy his backstory. That being said, while those are all good things for character, like I feel Jujutsu Kaisen, while it's not like fully fleshing out a character's backstory quite yet, um, that I feel like we are learning a little bit more about the characters. They're getting developed. We're getting more of them. All of the names that they're mentioning feel at least somewhat important. Like, even the ones that we really haven't met yet. Like, there's the one second year that they mentioned by name, Okotsu. That, like, we
Yes.
didn't even get to meet this character, but given the fact that he was mentioned twice and that it's mentioned that by Gojo that Okotsu is among one of the best of the students, that you can tell that he's kind of really important, just from that mention, and that he'll probably come up later. So yeah, I feel like there's just a lot really going on with characters, and that they're just really like, hammering them all out and just like making them all sort of interesting and giving them like interesting motivations. So yeah, it's a yay for Jujutsu Kaisen.
I mean, my vote really doesn't matter at this point, and I really hate to be that guy. I'm not trying to be a contrarian, but I would give characters to One Piece. I just like the characters in One Piece more. For right now, again, subject to change, because obviously I'm caught up with Jujutsu Kaisen, but as far as these first 6 episodes, I like Luffy more than Yuji. I like Zoro more than Megami. I definitely like Nami more than Nobara. I honestly liked Buggy as a villain more than Sakana, surprisingly. And yeah, Gojo's awesome, but I don't know, I just enjoyed the characters and how they interacted with each other more in One Piece. I know I'm going to get ripped to shreds for that, but that's just how I feel. So 4-1 again.
I
Hey,
mean, that's your
Envy.
opinion.
Envy, no one is going to rip you to shreds here for your opinion, even if it's wrong.
I mean, at least none of us are going to. The comments might, but none of us will.
They don't
Yeah, I don't
The
think
comments
so.
could very well rip us to shreds.
Oh, they
don't
could.
care.
I don't know. Oh
They
well.
don't care.
I don't
Doesn't
care.
matter. Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen takes it for characters. Let us move on into world building. Gav has taken world building, I believe.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
So usually I hate this category, and I don't have a lot to say, but this time I actually felt like there was world building in Jujutsu Kaisen and not so much in One Piece. As I stated earlier, just for that fact alone, I'd give it to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked the what?
I
Did
just
somebody
said
say
yeah.
something? I kind of liked the world building in One Piece, even though we didn't get like that much extra. I feel like they did a good job of building on what they already had and kind of working with it, especially because they gave us more of the backstory stuff. But I guess that also goes into characters. I'm not sure if I would count it as characters or world building. It's kind of both. But overall, I feel like we got so much information from Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was handled really well in terms of showing us how the techniques work and all of that, and the domains, and more about the curses. And we got introduced to kind of like what Al was saying. We saw more, I don't know how to say, sentient curses, or curses who are actually like making plans with each other and stuff. So I think like because of the sheer scope of world building that was going on in Jujutsu Kaisen, I would probably go with that one.
Yeah, I'd also have to give it to Jujutsu Kaisen just for the fact that One Piece doesn't exactly really have a whole lot of world building, so yeah.
Yeah, this one's pretty cut and dry and easy. One Piece didn't focus on world building, minus, a few, the new Devil Fruit, but otherwise, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen most of the stuff I liked from these 3 episodes, minus the animation, was the different world building aspects. So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen wins this one easily for me.
Same here. You're giving me a lot more information, even if I don't know what the panda is yet. You gave me a lot of stuff to like the first 3 episodes. Like I said before, good foundation, and now we're just building and expanding upon it. One Piece had a good foundation too, and they chose the character route. I think it worked for them, but we didn't get to learn that much more about why this world is so interesting, and we got that with Jujutsu Kaisen. So yeah. And Jujutsu Kaisen, it unanimously takes world building. Moving on, art and animation. Ian, I believe your take on this one?
Art and animation. I think One Piece did really good with the character designs, especially of like some of the clown posse and all of that.
Insane clown posse.
Insane clown posse. So I thought that all of that was really solid, and it's rough because Jujutsu Kaisen looks, it's so recent, so of course it's gonna look very amazing. But I would also say it too had really good character design. So also in the aesthetics and the character design department, I think Jujutsu Kaisen was probably better as well to me. So I would say overall, I would definitely give it to Jujutsu Kaisen.
So, well, I will say that One Piece does definitely have, like, a lot more unique character design. And obviously the animation is clearly a lot older. That I definitely feel that I'm enjoying the animation and, like, I don't know, just, like, even though everyone's sort of wearing a uniform, I'm enjoying, like, the facial drawings more of Jujutsu Kaisen. Also, there's no, like, same face that I kind of got a little bit more in One Piece with Shanks and Luffy, so I think I'd give it to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you obviously have to compare One Piece for when it came out versus with Jujutsu Kaisen now, but even then, there was some sequences in One Piece where I thought it was entertaining, but like the final fight with the lion tamer I thought was a little underwhelming, whereas with Jujutsu Kaisen, the fight scenes were incredible and the whole show looks great and sounds great. So yeah, the animation's like top tier. So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen for me.
I'm feeling the same way. That fight scene alone with Megumi was really great. Yeah, it's unfortunate for One Piece. It just didn't pull out all the stops like Jujutsu Kaisen did. I'm going Jujutsu Kaisen.
I'd also have to give it to Jujutsu Kaisen for like the fight scenes mainly are just so good. And whereas like One Piece's they're okay, but yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Was that everybody?
I think that's it.
Yeah, okay. So it seems Jujutsu Kaisen takes art and animation. Sound and dubbing. Let us talk sound and dubbing. Chibi, talk about sound and dubbing.
Okay, sound and dubbing. I don't really remember One Piece's score very well. So there's that. As far as the dubbing is concerned, for One Piece, like, dubbing's fine for the most part. Buggy's voice was good. Jujutsu Kaisen, sound design was good. Dubbing was good. I'm a pass.
Oh, that's bad. Never do that. Never ever do that.
Learn my lesson.
I'm gonna be very, very honest. One Piece wins for me just for Mike McFarlane's performance as Buggy. So yeah, One Piece.
I'm a little torn myself here. I thought both were good. Both like had really good stuff going, not only for the characters that we've already established, but for new characters as well. If I'm like comparing them 1-to-1, I thought Yuji has great lines. Luffy also very good. Zoro Megami pretty comparable. Everybody like Sukuna and Buggy. Like, I thought, like, everyone did a really good job, and I'm almost on the verge of passing myself a little bit. But I'm not gonna. Not gonna. So that'll make things too easy.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I'm gonna... No, I'm not. I'm not passing. I think I'm gonna go with Jujutsu Kaisen on this, because, you know, I think everyone did a great job in Jujutsu Kaisen. I think the main cast did a great job in One Piece. There was a couple side characters and minor characters that were kind of so-so. So I think I'm going to go Jujutsu Kaisen.
This is a hard one. I see why everyone wants to pass. It's like all of the voice actors did a great job. I think I'd go with Jujutsu Kaisen just because the music's a little more memorable. So yeah.
I liked the dubs of both. I think both had really strong voices. So I can't really choose between those, but I did have some problems with the score for Jujutsu Kaisen episode 4. Although the rest of the music's great, so I'm gonna give it to One Piece.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it always happens.
You see, Chibi, you should never pass.
I feel like y'all did this on purpose.
I was thinking...
I did not.
I kind of wanted it to end up this way. But
oh my god, was it you?
No! I'm one of the first people up. I can't make it happen. If I was, like, the last one before Chibi goes, then I could easily swing it. But, like, if I'm early, I can't make that decision.
That's fair, that's fair.
If anything, you wanted it to happen.
Yeah, but you guys knew what I was going to pick because I had a critique during Jujutsu Kaisen.
I kind of forgot about that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
The dubs were both good, though.
So, I think just for the fact that I can't remember the score, I'm gonna give it to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Alright. Jujutsu Kaisen takes sound and dubbing. Moving right along. Envy, the opening ending man. Tell us your opening and ending thoughts.
Well, if we were just comparing the OPs only, I'd give it to One Piece. But since we're comparing both OPs and EDs, One Piece's ED was good. Nothing amazing. Unlike Jujutsu Kaisen, which was just chef's kiss to the extreme. So, yeah, combining both, I'll give the slight edge to Jujutsu Kaisen. Just mainly because Lost in Paradise is just so damn good.
I thought both the opening and ending of Jujutsu Kaisen were better than One Piece, so I'm going to go that way.
I agree with Al, so I'm also going Jujutsu Kaisen.
I'm going to third Jujutsu Kaisen. Fourth Jujutsu
technically.
Kaisen.
Fifth.
Yeah, that's Lost in Paradise takes it, I
Now
guess.
let me ask you
Yeah.
this. Let me
Kaisen
ask you this, Al.
Opening and ending. What?
I don't know if we talked about this when we first did One Piece versus Fairy Tail, but I guess I can ask it now. Do you like the regular One Piece opening or the Four Kids Pirate Rap opening better?
I feel like we brought that up. I feel like we definitely talked about that.
Yeah.
It depends on the context. If I'm just listening to it, I'd probably rather watch the normal One Piece opening. But if it's for comedy's sake, like example, in Nun Piece, yeah, I like the pirate rap. It's just fun. Well, especially how Purple Eyes uses it. I appreciate that. Anywho, I'll take us into final thoughts. So, I don't know who's keeping score at home, but
It's 6-0.
yeah, it's You know, I was saying Jujutsu Kaisen for the majority of this, and there's a reason for it. It really, like, it had a great opening week, and then this week just kept the ball rolling. It kept going and kept going strong, and I'm interested. I want to see more. I honestly wouldn't mind watching more of One Piece as well, but I want to watch more Jujutsu Kaisen now. So I'm gonna go Jujutsu Kaisen.
You said exactly how I feel, Al. Like, I like both of them, and I'd want to watch more One Piece, but, like, I'd rather watch more Jujutsu Kaisen first, because it just did that good of a job with everything. So, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like in terms of what I would want to watch more of immediately, it would be Jujutsu Kaisen, which is clear in the fact that I did watch more of it immediately, whereas One Piece I have not yet continued on my own. So I would definitely say Jujutsu Kaisen is the one that captures my attention and my excitement a little bit more, though I think One Piece was also really good. But I'm gonna go with Jujutsu Kaisen.
So, while One Piece did have a better, sort of better 2-ish, not so much 3 episodes than it did last week, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely the show that I immediately went and watched more, as y'all already know, because, yeah, I did go and watch more. And the thing with One Piece is just, like, I feel like if it was on, I'd leave it on in the background, maybe. But for something that I'm, like, really readily engaged in, I would definitely go ahead and watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
Well, time for my third contrarian opinion of the week. I mean, it's weird because I've seen all of Jujutsu Kaisen so far, but yet, if I was just comparing these first 6 episodes together, One Piece left me more excited and want me to continue it more. But again, it's not that I didn't enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen. I did, just not as much as you guys did. But yeah, technically, if I had to give a vote, it'd be One Piece, even though I know it's not going to matter.
Yes, this is definitely in Jujutsu Kaisen's favor. I think this is the first time that we've seen an anime completely sweep. Like,
I mean,
yeah,
to be completely 100% honest, when this bracket was made and I saw that the winner of Fairy Tail versus One Piece was going to go up against the winner of Jujutsu Kaisen versus Hunter x Hunter, I knew that winner was going to sweep the following.
I'm trying to remember. I know Jujutsu Kaisen won pretty handily against Hunter x Hunter, but did it, like, I don't think it won every category.
No, I think Hunter x Hunter won a couple categories.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw One Piece versus Jujutsu Kaisen, considering how much I know this group at AutbackAl and at Friends loves Jujutsu Kaisen, I knew it was going to be a sweep.
Yeah. I try to keep an open mind, but okay. But I don't know. None of us have really watched or continued One Piece, so I don't know that there's a whole lot to gush about today. Honestly, though, I wouldn't mind continue watching it. I might actually. I don't know about you, Yin. I know we watched a couple things that got knocked out in other rounds. Like, I know we watched Blue Exorcist. I know we watched Yu Yu Hakusho. I might watch this. I don't know if you want to join me on that, but I'm definitely probably going to look at a few more episodes, even though we will not be looking at the rest of it for the rest of this tournament.
I'll just say it's very impressive that the manga is still going strong after 24 years, and the anime is going to hit episode 1,000 pretty soon. Like, I think it's like 974 or something like that right now. So it's just like, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's like The Simpsons. Which one is going to end first, Simpsons or One Piece?
I mean, to be fair, I think The Simpsons might have, I don't know, how many episodes are The Simpsons up to?
Oh, probably more than 2,000 or something like that.
No, it can't be that. I don't think it's that much. Hang on, I'm going to look this up. Does anyone else have any other things to say about One Piece?
I don't know much about it.
Same. I mean, it's definitely, like, an interesting sort of concept, and like, yeah, I'd probably watch more episodes like potentially out of sequence if they were on television, but I don't think I've really have the motivation, time, or energy to like fully commit. Because if I want to start a show, I want to start a show, and then I kind of want to like maybe take a break and then come back to it and continue watching. But this is gonna be a show where that's just gonna be. It's gonna be like a long time before I would actually get around to finishing the whole thing.
Okay, I looked it up. Simpsons
Yeah.
has 695 episodes.
695.
Which
yeah.
is, I think it's because One Piece technically airs weekly, I think, for the most part. It airs
Yeah,
like
they
every...
don't have a break.
So yeah.
Even though they've been on the air much much shorter, they don't take like time off.
Yeah.
They're like constantly going. So it's yeah, I don't know. One Piece was still pretty good. Jujutsu Kaisen just was better this week. And they will go on into they're our first contender for the semifinals, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And they will go on to fight the winner of next week. And next week will be the matchup I think a lot of people have been looking forward to. Demon Slayer versus My Hero Academia.
Prepare your
So
flame
hard.
shields. Yeah, it's gonna get rough.
This is going to be interesting. I'm going to have fun. Any final thoughts before we leave?
Nope.
No.
All right, well, go watch episodes 4 through 6 of Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia. Come join us next week to find out who comes out on top. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!